Hello everyone and welcome back. It's time for some more internet spaceships, and 3.21 has been released to the wider live servers now. So we have 3.21, and along with it, as you can see, we have the Crusader Spirit. The Spirit is what is going to be, I suppose, Crusader's little brother, or sister, if you like, to the A2, so the gigantic Hercules bomber, and the Hercules is more of a transport first and a bomber second. It has the rear of that ship dedicated to bombing, but this is very much a dedicated bomber, albeit a smaller version, and it is very, very, very pretty. I have to admit, when the Spirit series went into concept and they looked nice, but I wasn't that too fussed about them. But looking at them now, they are very, very sleek. They remind me a lot of Origin ships, even though they are nowhere near as, I want to say, curvy as Origin ships. Like, there's lots of angles, very much Crusader style, like the Mercury Star Runner and such. But the Spirits are definitely a look at. And as I said, this is the bomber version. So we have some bomb bay doors underneath, which I will show you, and we've got some turrets and stuff up top. There's one big turret on top that slides backwards and forwards, very much like the Scorpius. We have these lovely VTOL thrusters that fold down and become part of the wings, and these giant thrusters underneath. And then at the rear, you can see we've got these gorgeous thruster, like manifold assemblies. I love these things. If the Mercury Star Runner had something like this, rather than the two it ended up with that look kind of underwhelming for its ship size, it would look very cool. So yes, very low, very angular. It even has the rear tail winglets, much like the Hercules series. And there's that sliding rail that I told you about for the turret. So if we go and look inside, you can see we have very good lighting outside now, but this has a cool feature that I do hope is added into more ships. So when you press the ramp access, you get, or you should if it will work, you get a cool little visual looking down, and you can see it has this red outline that tells you where the ramp is, and once the ramp's down, it goes into a fixed light, you see. And what's cool about this is it's not some kind of like projected texture, it's actually proper light. So if you stand your character on it, you can see that your character gets enshrouded in this red light. So it is actually being cast by the ship, which is very, very cool. It's very reminiscent of those rubbish LED keyboards that you used to be able to buy like in the 90s that were a fad, that projected an LED keyboard that you could type with and that never worked properly. Not in my experience anyway. So, coming forward, you can see we've got a little bit of a cargo space that is mainly for housing our components. So we can open these doors up and have a look at some of our components. See, this is where jump drive is. You have more space for a jump drive upgrade when we get the jump gates, which are now going to be a thing in 3.21, even though they aren't functional yet. So if we close our door, you can see we'll get the visual again as it changes to show you it's in motion. That's very, very, very cool. I do love that. And then you have this gigantic blast door going forward. So we pop this thing open, and this slides open to reveal the business end of this spaceship. So I think these are called Storm Busters. These size 5 bombs, and there is 10 of them. See, they have these very cool little, I want to say steering fins. I know that's not the proper term for them, like SpaceX wise. And the sides sort of pop off and open up to reveal like these LED bomblets. Even though they aren't bomblets, they just go bang when they hit the floor. You also have a console back here that you can't really do anything with yet, but you can set the lighting. So you can change the lighting to make it go dark, or an override to make it go red alert and make it very, very, very dangerous looking. Now they're all going to drop at once. So I love this space. The design of the ships recently, it's getting very, very cool, even though bombers are a bit of a weird place right now. Moving forward, we have some doors that respond a little bit quicker than the Mercury Star Runners. We have a couple of escape pods. We have a gun rack that pops out, so you can put some weapons in there. We have a little, like, I want to say, isn't hardly habitation, it's basically a coffee dispenser and I guess what's a microwave at the end of the day. We have the good old I can't remember how these things are pronounced. Is it shoilet? Where it's like a shower toilet combo thing that people have been calling them, which I think is quite funny. And then we have some bunks for 2 people. And then we have our pilot seat, so we'll jump in. turn this thing on and you can see all fire up. I love that the engines have like a startup sequence now when you press the power button. We'll request our leaving clearance.
You are clear to launch.
You can see that the winglets have folded up. I'll fold them back down again, and there you go, you can see we've got these cool VTOL thrusters now going out the sides. We'll bring up our landing gear. And once again, Lawville is in the dark, so I can't do anything cool around Lawville, as is the case when I'm recording. But we'll fold these winglets back in, and we'll go and find somewhere bright that I can show this ship off. So there we go, as we make our way down to Pinewood through Hurston's atmosphere. Like I said, this ship is very, very sleek looking. It's not meant as a fighter by any regard. It has the turret, it's got some pilot control weapons I can show you. So you've got two main turrets up top, two main gun emplacements up top, and then you've got one at the nose as well, much like the Mercury Star Runner. You can see they're a bit squiffy and cross-eyed. Meant to be like close range, but then again this isn't meant to be a brawling ship. And you've got missiles as well, but of course the party piece, as we come in lower, I will spin over so that the sun kind of illuminates it, is now when you press your middle mouse button you can see the bomb bay doors open and all the bombs displayed. You like all the safety covers coming off, and you can see that there's like individual safety covers just for the ones they release from the back forward. So you can see those ones are covered up there, and it does like one at a time. You can obviously change it in the menu if you want to change how many you release at once, but they are still slow. It is still very, very cool to use though, and it has the same familiar bombing run UI from the A2. That is to say, it is functional, but not great. The bombs and the aiming and how it works is all a bit sluggish. So, Storm Burst, yeah, I was right. The ship does still have a few quirks. Like I said, the bombing UI isn't fantastic, and you have this annoying cockpit light bug at the minute that just seems to hover around. It's also confusing trying to use missiles in this as well, because you see you've got your arrestor missiles as well, but you still have to change between them. There is some very cool missile doors that close. The Spirit has the same quirk with the A series, or should I say the Hercules series, in that the guns on the shoulders there, I can call it, will fold away if you power them down, which I always thought was quite cool. We will do a bombing run. Again, the bombing UI is a bit buggy. I think we'll just drop one. And there it goes. See if it goes bang. There we go. So nowhere near as big an explosion as the A2, but it's still a fairly sizable burst. I tested this a while ago whilst trying to use them around the farming spot that I was using for the golden tickets and for the Day of the Vara helmets, which now are thankfully back in the game. And it literally launched everything that could physically be launched. So I'm talking corpses, I'm talking boxes, I'm talking weapons, empty drinks, anything that was on the floor, and it flung it into the atmosphere when I dropped one of these. So I lost all the boxes that I was trying to loot. So yeah, it's a bit hit and miss with this thing, but like I said, it's still very, very, very cool. It is a gorgeous looking ship, and I'm generally looking forward to seeing the C2, which is C1, which is the cargo variant, not C2. C2 is the big one, it's bigger brother, is the cargo variant, which is releasing next in a 3.21.x patch at some point, and then the executive edition, so like the personal transport one, which is launching even later. There hasn't really been a date set in stone for that, but I just thought it's a very, very cool, sleek ship to have a look at. I'm going to drop another bomb because they're fun. Let's see if it opens the other door now. It's kind of not displayed it, but we'll come in and drop a bomb anyway. There it goes. Is it gonna go? We'll drop one statically, shall we? Though I'm not going to get too low for obvious reasons. So 8 Bombay doors. We'll just drop one. There it goes. You saw its tail fins come out. No air resistance or anything on this one. Ooh, and it flung me, even though we were nearly 2,000 meters up in the air. So you can see they're still very effective, even though they don't have as much of a blast radius as the ones from the A2, whereas the A2 ones are like Moabs and they're just ridiculous. So just flying around, I will show you the missile bay, because I think that's one little cool detail. Is the little details on the ship that make it so very cool at the moment. So if we bring the ship to a stop and we spin round, you can see that on the nose there, if I pan round, you can see that there's 4 missiles. Obviously you right click to change which things you want to use, and if you choose your press your middle mouse button to hide your bomb bay and switch back out of missile mode, you can see everything folds away. There's even these cool like slidey door patches. I love it. I love the details on the ships that have been done recently. So at the moment bombers are in a bit of a weird place because CIG said they weren't going to release any more ships that weren't in kind of dedicated gameplay loops. But bombers, they don't have gameplay loops per se. At the minute they're just kind of used to troll and kill other players, which puts them in this weird grey area. But aside from that, I really do like the Spirit. It's grown on me, and whilst I don't think I'm gonna get one, I said that about the F8 and then I got one anyway, I'm kind of set for ships. I think they are a good addition. They have their little niche, shall we say. There's an alternate company to, say, buying RSI ships like Constellations or Freelancers. That's basically what this is for the Crusader company. So they are the Constellation or Freelancer or Cutlass variant. But I do like them. I think they are very cool ships. They're very sleek and shiny, like I said. The way that CIG is releasing ships now and the polish that they have on them just from new ships, oh look, there's one of my old Spirits, is very much showing that some of the older ships now need a rework, and that they're not up to par as the rest of them, but it's just another thing that's in the pipeline as we wait for Pyro. Speaking of, CitizenCon of course is imminent. As I say this, it's 1:30 in the morning and we are now waiting very much for the imminent CitizenCon to begin starting. CIG were doing a test stream yesterday, so I'm looking forward to having a good weekend and seeing what else may come around. I don't think we're going to get Pyro, obviously, because we've seen that Pyro is going to be on some computers in an area that they're going to play test it, and let's face it, at the end of the day, static server meshing isn't in, and we haven't got the replication layer yet. That's all still to come, so it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while, but it's still going to be fun, so I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Hopefully I'll be able to do a stream with Ollie or something along those lines, and I shall have to speak to you all later and go over what we see. It's going to be fun either way. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching everyone, and I hope you enjoyed. If you like this and think I deserve it, please give it a like, consider subbing if you fancy sticking around. If you're thinking of taking part in the game, feel free to use my referral code on screen or click the link below for bonus in-game money that helps me out as well. See you in the next one.